Coming back to this area, this is Welandes Smiððan of the Charter, part of which I'll be following today, the Saxon Charter. Wayland was a Saxon god. He may have been just an ordinary person. They may have just named this. We don't entirely always know these things. So we know in the 10th century this was known as Welandes Smiððan because of that reference to Welandes Smiððan. There may have been just some sort of bloke called Wayland, we don't know, who owned this plot of land. But probably, you know, Occam's razor. This is where the gods. This is where the god Wayland lived and did his work. It is, of course, much older than the English that came here in the 5th century AD. This was built 3,000 years before then, and it's two tombs basically. There's one square enclosure with big posts, stone and timber, which held a handful of people, and then at some point later on, again in the Neolithic, so technology hadn't really changed, they built this to house their dead. Certainly a selected amount of dead. Now I'm going to save this bit for another video because this goes on about genetics and family trees in the Neolithic. I didn't come here to do this, but I may as well do it while I'm here, but this will be for another video. On this video I'm going to be talking about the landscape here, and I've done it many times, but new information keeps coming in. This is the advantage of the modern day antiquarian. We have the technology. Well, Darren from WC21 Production said, oh, when I was talking about Watchfield the other day, he said, oh, there's a villa down there, a Roman villa. I went, what? And had a look. There is a Roman villa in Woolston, which is just down the bottom of the hill here, and I immediately looked it up, and there's some interesting stuff about that. And then I asked myself, is there a Saxon charter to give me a little bit more insight into what's going on here in ancient times? And there is. And it was at that point that I positively, absolutely identified a point in the landscape with a Saxon charter. And what it means is that I can now heavily criticise the experts and also go out on a nice walk and explain things to you. But this is named in that charter, one of the landmarks, the Dark Age landmarks, which I'm going to point out, is, it says to the east of that landmark, no, that landmark is to the east of Welandes Smiððan, which is where we are now. Well, I'm getting lucky today. I'm getting lucky quite recently. That's a piece of rim from the top of a pot, and I think it is either Iron Age or pretty rough Romano British, but it's beautiful. I just astonished what I find these days. It just throws itself at me recently. Maybe, I don't know, I wasn't born lucky, but just Roman pot, Iron Age. Well, this was used by Britons, whether they were Romano British or just British. So I'm looking for any more pieces lying about. Obviously where you get one piece, you get, I mean, it could have been, you know, ploughed up and down this field forever. 2,000 years. There's a whole load of building material, ceramic building, brick basically. Brick and tile over there, but I don't think it's Roman. But there's loads and loads of it. But you get multiple periods in one field. I'm gonna have a little scout, see if I can find anything. That's Romano British greyware. Amazing. That there is Watchfield, where those windmills are. And there is Uffington with its white horse on the other side of that hill. It is, we're now getting frosts in the southwest, and so I normally count winter as when we get ice, and we haven't yet had that. But it's certainly looking like winter is upon us. 3 degrees this morning, and it still is 3 degrees now. We've got fog, midday there's fog, and all the leaves are coming off the trees. I have a sort of glass half full sort of attitude. You take the rough with the smooth, and it makes the smooth even sweeter when spring comes around. Makes you appreciate it a bit more, I think. I don't know about you.